All right, continue.
Max is forlornly cleaning his butthole by the door, which is shut, and he cannot get out.
Forlornly? Like looking up like, man, can't believe I have to do this.
Yeah, he's got sort of... He makes a sad face when he's like, I want out, but I don't know how.
Please, I don't have thumbs.
Please, help me. Gonna rub your face on that pile of game books. Okay.
No, you gross. This is my cat's voice. The voice I have for my cat. Oh my god. No, she kind of sounds like Jocelyn from Bob's Burgers. Ew, gross! You're touching me. Ew. This is really hard. That's the cat voice, and then the dog voice. The dog voice is like, "Hey, that's me. I'm a dog." Which is terrible because he's an English bulldog, so he should have like an English, like he should sound like fucking Carl Pilkington, just like laconic and in it. Oh, it's been 3 minutes already.
Yeah, we're real good at wasting time.
I hear if you make it to 6 episodes, you're a real podcast.
Is that like being a real boy?
This is bonus experience.
Why'd you read my capital letters thing on this?
Because you put it in capital letters.
Yeah, I write this for our entertainment.
This is bonus experience! Yeah!
Yeah!
Thunder!
I'm Monica.
I'm Ray.
We do the gaming.
We game. Okay, we've been known to game.
Been known to game?
And we
Sometimes
also
I do
run this podcast, which is a deeper look at the play experience and the finer details of running and writing games.
Yeah, and we swear.
Die mad about it.
So, what are we getting into today?
Today we're going to talk about how to not be a garbage player.
And I mean, we mean people who suck, not
trash people who are garbage.
People. Yeah. Not a person who plays with garbage. So you probably shouldn't do that either.
Be careful with that. You could get
playing with garbage?
A disease.
Oh, okay. I thought you were like telling me that not playing with garbage was like some offensive phrase, and I was like,
do you really want to come down hard on that? On not playing with garbage?
Be careful with that, because that means this racist thing, and I was just gonna be like, oh.
Margaret gotta fix that one too. No, we're going to talk about how to not be a shithead at the table.
Yeah.
Don't be a dick.
Yeah, don't be a dick.
Donald, why are you such an asshole? Donnie, why did we even invite you?
Nobody invited Donnie.
Donnie just shows up with his musk and his big 3-ring binder full of his, like, lovingly hand-typed notes on his own personal setting for D&D that he keeps trying to get people to play. Huh?
Have you ever actually gamed with someone who was musky?
Yeah. But it was like high school. We were all a little musky. It's that gamer.
I don't know if I was that musky.
Gamer gaminess.
Yeah. The little con that attended that my other podcast runs got kind of musky.
You can get a little stagnant.
I mean, that old venue got hot.
It smells a little like chicken noodle soup.
Yeah. Smells like onions and feet.
We're not talking about how to not smell like garbage. That is not the kind of podcast we are.
And obviously, that like if you have like a gland problem or whatever, we don't.
I know. I'm not. You know what? I'm not gonna. It's medical. It's fine. I don't want to.
Fine.
I'm talking about how to not be a jerk. How to clean up your
we're talking about your behavior,
attitude.
not your hygiene.
Fix your behavior.
But like, if you are capable of practicing good hygiene, please do.
We're going to talk about it. Not be a jerk. Please take a bath, though. But
please take a bath.
You should not be a jerk. But like deodorant, maybe. But don't be an asshole. And like brush your hair, maybe.
Yeah, but most importantly, don't be an asshole.
Most importantly, don't be a jerk. And I wrote down this cutesy little like 7 deadly player sins, and then
Yeah, you wrote this thing down and were like, what are they?
halfway
And then...
through, I was like, I had to start remembering Full Metal Alchemist characters to remember all the 7 deadly sins. What is?
Then you just...
Well, what?
You just left them on the outline for me to define.
I was just like, just do something with this. Is there something here, Monica? Do something with this, Monica.
You know what? I made something happen with it.
You did.
I'm pretty proud of how it turned out.
Yeah. So why don't we start off with the wrathful player?
Right, these aren't hardly in alphabetical order.
No.
We did them in the order in which Riot remembered them.
The order in which I remembered Full Metal Alchemist characters.
Yeah. So, we'll start with wrath, the sin of anger.
Yeah.
And I would certainly call a wrath player, the wrathful player, the kind of player who is quick to retaliate or start fights. That one guy who always wants to murder everything.
Everything becomes a combat?
Yeah, like person who wants to start strangling townspeople or whatever. The person who's you're a serial killer, aren't you? Like in real life. I didn't put this on my list, but people who are weirdly torture happy too. Ever had a player who's just way too into wanting to torture an NPC? Yeah.
I have to put hard limits at the very beginning of my game. If I'm playing if I'm running an Exalted game, my number one house rule is I will not run for compassion 1 characters. You have to have at least compassion 2.
You gotta be a human being.
Yes. No torture mongers. I also think of the wrathful player as someone who kind of treats that boundary between out of character and in character shit as being extremely permeable, which is not appropriate. If something happens out of game, you do not put it in game. If something happens in game, you do not put it out of game. You keep those two separate.
Yeah, where they want to kill the other person's player character because that particular player looked at them funny.
Yeah.
Likes the girl they like.
Yeah. The wrathful player is not... I don't think I have an easy fix for the wrathful player. Is a thing that requires a lot of self-awareness on your part and recognizing that there's more than one way to play these games now. It's not the 80s. We're not out to murder everything anymore. I don't know. That might have come out a little harsh.
Yeah.
Play some Fate.
I would also say that wrathful people are people who get tetchy if the GM does anything they don't like.
Yeah. And then on the sliding scale of, and this will go for every one of these that we mentioned. There may be someone who's he sometimes does that. Talk to them about it. But at the other end, it's yeah, that guy's a problem. It's kick him the fuck out. You don't have to run.
Well, yeah. We'll get to dealing with this and kicking him the fuck out later. I think. Right. We're at this point just putting down our 7 deadly player sins.
So pride, the prideful player.
And the prideful player can't give up the spotlight. Are the kind of people who always has to be party leader with a capital P and a capital L.
They have to be the main character of the party.
Yeah, and they're offended if they're not.
Mm-hmm.
And they want everyone else to do the thing they want to do. No compromise.
Or they're the guy that really likes to show off how much they know about the system and will interrupt the GM to argue about rules, crunchy bits, system, just to kind of show no, I know what I'm doing. It's annoying as hell.
Yeah, rules lawyers are totally prideful players.
Yo. I bet last was real hard, huh?
Yeah. I'm sorry about me existing as a player in my 20s. Oh, because if there's... I once asked Henry if he was bothered by the fact that, if there are any girls there I want to do them, player is me. It's me.
I mean, if we're talking about
but I actually don't think that pursuing
between players, everybody's cool. That's different.
Yeah, or between players and NPCs.
Yeah, I mean,
I actually don't think pursuing a romance or a sexual relationship between NPCs and PCs, as long as there's clear boundaries established out of character, obviously, is bad. Yeah. I don't think that's bad at all.
No.
But that's the low hanging fruit of the character who wants to sleep with everyone, which can become disruptive.
That can become a huge problem if not everybody is on board with that fucking behavior. If it's the one player that's trying to use it as a like, again, that permeable out of character, in character border, that can get straight up fucking creepy, and then we have to have some serious words.
Yeah, it can get real creepy. Yeah, that we'll file that creepiness under lust, but I also want to define the lustful player as a person who lusts for drama in character above anything else. Like the person who won't let anything work out smoothly because they want drama so badly.
Right. They want to play the evil backstabbing character.
You played with somebody like that?
Oh, I've played with someone like that. Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah, this person was so super into and in love with their own brilliant character concept that they would hijack the game over, well, that's not what my character would do, kind of thing, or what, I'm just doing what my character would do, because they were specifically trying to play like the most antagonistic character concept possible.
I had a thing I was going to say and it's gone. That didn't work out.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. No, it's okay. My brain ate it.
And now it's gone forever.
And it's gone. It went to the Bureau of Lost Thoughts. So yeah, those are lustful things. Yeah, I wanted to convey the idea that lust is a desire thing. It's not just a fucking thing.
Yeah, it's not just about, your pee-pees.
Yeah, or your vajayjays.
I thought pee-pee was like a catch-all. Is it not? Just a generic for your downstairs?
I didn't think so.
Oh, damn.
I also would have immediately thought of like urine for pee-pee, but that's... Now we're really getting off topic.
Huh.
Gluttony. So a gluttonous player is focused only on their own satisfaction, and they couldn't give a fuck about anybody else. And I would say that a gluttonous player is more about doing dumb shit because it pleases them, than pride's overbearing need to be the center of attention.
Pride has to do it like with dignity. Gluttony is like, what can I fucking break?
Yeah, like... I'm trying to think of a really good example of, like, this craving for satisfaction.
How about the time me and my party members went to go kill 100 zombies instead of actually doing the quest? That's extremely gluttonous.
Yeah, it was. I also threw out a scene eating the elemental bowl as being gluttonous. Also, like, literally involving eating, but it was a dumb thing he did for his own satisfaction.
Yeah,
like,
even though we were like, why? Stop it. No, let's move on.
Yeah, it's doing those things.
When you hand them the bus ticket, they just fucking cram it into their mouth.
Yeah. People who eat the bus ticket. I've never had anybody eat the bus ticket.
I have a player who I think, were she pressed, I think she would eat it. I think she'd eat a particularly tasty bus ticket. Because she's like just on the border of like, what can I break here? Like, I have to consider that she kind of likes to be the troublemaker when I'm coming up with game ideas. Like, I have to count on she will probably do the thing that I have specifically like tried to get them to not do. so she's my little bus ticket eater.
Yeah, I think of all of these, I'm probably most guilty of being a gluttonous player, like going out of my way to do something that's dumb for my own delight.
Man, I think I might be closer to pride, unfortunately. I kind of like having like the best character. Does that sound shitty? Like, I like to have, like, I have a backstory, and we'll self-examine later.
Yeah. Envy. So envy. I can't stand it when anybody's better than them. They gotta have the most min-maxed character. They gotta be the best. They gotta have the best stat line. Gotta roll all 18s. Gotta have the most powerful magical weapon. They can't stand it if a GM gives another player cool stuff.
Oh, hang on, I gotta pause.
An envious...
A plate of delicious food was just put in front of me. What is this mystery delight?
Black beans and rice.
Oh, it's just black beans and rice. It smells really good. I had food delivered to me. Can you hear me chewing on that?
Not as much as those rocks you were eating earlier.
Oh, the musty M&Ms?
The musty M&Ms, yeah.
All right, continue.
Max is forlornly cleaning his butthole by the door, which is shut, and he cannot get out.
Forlornly? Like, looking up like, man, can't believe I have to do this.
Yeah, he's got sort of... He makes a sad face when he's like, I want out, but I don't know how.
Please. I don't have thumbs.
Please, help me. Anyway, so like
I
envious
hear
players.
it beeping. Is your microphone beeping?
No.
Boom, boom. It says boom, boom.
Oh, you're hearing my phone vibrate.
What?
Yeah, my phone is sitting on the same surface as the snowball. And I just got a Facebook message, and you heard the phone vibrating. So I just tossed it onto the bed.
Get the fuck out of here.
The heating unit just kicked on. Did you hear that?
No, but I love it when heating or AC kicks on. You hear that? That's so soothing to me. I get so sleepy.
Yeah, I love that white noise.
Like for the 7th time, envy. What's envy? You're greedy.
Right.
No, you're jealous.
Do you want me to start over?
Yeah, I'm really just.
I got up to once to steal everything.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Like they can't stand it. When I had a bunch of good lines. Margaret, edit and post.
Margaret is on
can't stand it with anybody. Anybody's better than them. They can't stand it when a GM gives another player cool stuff. They want to steal everything, which I guess all sort of overlaps into greed. And they will team up with or switch gears with a wrathful player if an NPC is cooler than they are.
But then greed is really simple. They just gotta have everything.
Yeah, gotta have everything. Everything. Money, gear, stuff. They just want to hoard.
They just want
imaginary things. Yeah,
maybe not so much in it for the character development. They want stuff. And I've caught some cheaters this way. This is the cheat player who will put things on on their character sheet that they have no business owning, and they hope that you won't notice. We had a player in one of our games we didn't notice until it became relevant that he had snuck into his inventory list that he had a couple of arrows of dragon slaying, which are supposed to be like way outside the character tier, but he just sort of like dropped them in there like in the middle of the paragraph. And it wasn't until he was gone one day and we're like, well, we need him for this session, so we'll just play his character. And I was like, hang on a sec, he's got arrows of black dragon slaying. Like, excuse me? And then when he came back, we're like, what's that about? He's like, oh, haha, oh, you found that, huh? Yeah. It's like, no, listen, you cheat.
That's such a weird thing to cheat.
Well, it was specifically
then, like,
a game about killing dragons.
When you whip them out to use them...
Yeah, it's going to come out eventually that you had those.
It's going to come out eventually. Like, the GM would be like, when the fuck did you get those?
Oh, I just
started with them. You're like, yeah, sure, you started with a level 10 rare item? Okay.
Okay, sure, whatever.
Yeah, okay. Right, like, that seems so dumb to me because, like, that would have to come out in the wash at some point.
I don't know that he was really committed to the cheat. He's kind of on the low end of greed.
Yeah, I suppose. By that cheating, would you consider someone who, like, fudges their stats? Be greedy?
Ooh.
Or envious?
Oh, fudging their stats.
Like, let's say you're playing a game that hasn't advanced past 1999 and you roll for stats still.
Rolling for stats can be fun.
It can be fun, but it's not good.
If you drop, like, if you drop everything that's below, like, a 3 or lower.
If
it's a 1 or a 2, you re-roll it, and then, yeah, you have
right, if you're starting to put, like, that many restrictions on how to roll properly, then just use an array.
You roll 4d6, drop the lowest, and re-roll 1s and 2s until they fail to appear.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure. Sure.
I always use an array. I use the array. Because we got a lot of cheaters that fudge their stats. I would put them into envy, I think. Because I think that also plays into the, like, oh, but what if another player fudges their stats and then I'll be the weakest player? I don't want to be the weakest player. I better fudge my stats.
Yeah. I made a joke about all 18s that Margaret better leave in.
I'll pass on a note.
All right.
All right, the last one. It took me forever to remember.
Sloth.
Because Sloth didn't have a really big part in Full Metal Alchemist. I had to, like, really think hard to remember. Oh no, the beans are hurting me.
Hot beans.
Sloth isn't there to, like, play the game. Sloth won't stop fucking around.
Yeah, it's too lazy to bother to learn the rules. Is always distracted by something else. Their phone, the TV. I don't know when you have the TV on when you're gaming.
The other source books you brought.
Other people. They won't contribute.
Nobody knows why they're there. Maybe it's because, like, the pizza, or because their girlfriend brought them,
Yeah. Sometimes I'm afraid I'm this person, but I'm not really.
Nope. I fucking pore over rules. I love rules. I never thought I'd be the person that loves rules. But I like knowing I like breaking them and putting them back together.
Knowing the thing and feeling competent.
Yeah.
Great. Man.
So anyway, now that we know, like, the different categories of the garbage shit player, How do you not be a garbage ship player?
Well, like we said at the beginning, have some self-awareness.
Recognize yourself. Listen to the things we just described and be like, oh, should I do that? Yeah, that's me.
I mean, nobody's perfect. When we're talking about these bad habits and these sins, in air quotes, what we're really talking about are like repeat patterns of toxic behavior and people who do these things over and over again, and they become disruptive and they won't change, and they're making life less fun for you.
Personally, I would be mortified if I learned that I was actually like detracting from someone else's play with my behavior. Like if that was something that was brought up to me, I'd be like, oh shit, and like do some real deep soul searching to try to figure out, like, because I don't go to the game just for me. I go because, you know, it's my friends and we're all like getting together and doing something fun together and making this new thing together. And basically, if anyone came to me like, listen, you were doing this thing, and you know the other people were like talking, it's like, oh no, I would do everything I could to try to address that and try to get in good with the players again, because the game's not just about you. It's about everybody else having fun.
Yeah, I think a lot of this comes with emotional maturity, too.
Yeah.
A lot of people's shitty game experiences that I've heard wild horror stories about come from when they were kids or teens or young adults. And if you're over 25, you need to get your shit together, and if you're still acting like this, seriously.
Yeah, have a little self-awareness. And understand you're not the only person at the table.
Yeah. I don't know that that's something a podcast can teach you if you're already down that dark path. So I think what we can talk about, though, is how to handle people who are being a problem.
I have a lot of experience with that.
Tell us about it.
Well, at first, the way I handled it was I stopped going to game.
That's
the bad ending. That's the bad ending. You don't want your players to stop going to games because you have a shit player in your ranks. The next best thing is to try to have a conversation with this person and try to tell them, you know, parts of your behavior have been like kind of taken away from the play, and I wanted to talk to you about this before it got to the point that, you know, shit really got bad and that we got super mad at you, or we all stopped showing up, or blah blah blah. Hopefully this is someone who can go, oh shoot, yeah, okay, like me. Maybe they'll be like mortified, like, oh fuck, I had no idea. Maybe they won't. maybe it'll be a fight. But you know what? I don't know. I'm of two minds on that, because on the one hand, adventure can be rare. It can be so hard to find that group of people that are really cool, that you mostly get along with, that you can have a good time with, except for Kevin or whatever. But on the other hand, life's short and the internet exists, and there's a lot of people on the internet that'll play. So, you know, I'm running out of words.
Okay. I know it's awkward and it sucks, but you, as the person running the game, are under zero obligation to maintain a garbage player. If someone is ruining everybody else's good time and is generally adding nothing to the game, don't make excuses for their behavior. Kick them out.
Yeah, don't make excuses. No.
Don't make excuses.
We kind of skirted around it with
there's so-and-so's significant other, or they have the house we play at. That's the worst one.
Yeah.
Or like, we play at a game store, so we can't kick them out because it's a public place. I've heard that one.
Sure, can't kick them out.
I got drunk at a cookout and yelled at a person much older than me for doing this, for refusing to kick out a player who was really ruining everybody's good time.
Ooh. How'd that go down?
It was the opposite case, where like this guy was a piece of shit and his girlfriend was awesome and they liked gaming with his girlfriend, and like he was a wrathful player and disruptive and torture happy and like not a team player and wanted to do all these things, and it was just this older guy who was much older than me, actually, complaining about what a shithead this dude was. And I was like, kick him out. And he was like, well, his girlfriend, and well, we're at a game store. And I was like, kick him out! Because I had had several glasses of wine. And I mean, I do it sober too, though probably with less yelling.
Yeah, you can't sacrifice. Again, you're not the only person at the table. If you have one garbage player at your table and it's making everybody uncomfortable, but he pays for pizza, or he's so-and-so's brother, like in the case of like, he's, or she, we assume it's he, I'm sorry. Men are garbage. I don't,
It's true, men are trash.
Men are garbage. When I talk about like garbage players, 90% of the garbage players I've encountered have been men. One was a woman. that I can talk about and be like, yeah, she was a garbage player.
I was like, I can definitely think of a garbage player.
Anyway.
As a woman.
Where was I?
Kicking people out of your game is where we were.
Yeah. Don't sacrifice your game's well-being because you don't want to start shit with one particular person. Or even two particular people if garbage player's brother or garbage player's significant other happens to be involved. You're gonna tank your game. And you're gonna make people really uncomfortable. And sometimes these situations can be beyond just like, oh, he's kind of a jerk. She's kind of they are kind of a jerk. Sometimes it can go into like, they are seriously making me feel uncomfortable or making me feel unsafe. And you as the GM, you gotta do something about that. You can't you can't continue to expose your players, your friends, to someone who would make them feel that way just for the sake of cohesiveness for the party or for the location or for the food. I know that I had a player that was like really violent and torture happy, and I had to like talk to them like, listen, this is disturbing. I can't keep running for you. And they refused to change their behavior. And I would have to kick them out. Like that stuff like personally really disturbs me. Like not just on like the rest of the gamers, but like I'd have to be like, I specifically cannot run for you. You cannot play this character.
Yeah. No, you gotta keep your space safe too.
Yep. It's okay to have these boundaries. You
set
should
good boundaries.
Have these boundaries.
Set good, strong boundaries, and then don't back down on them when you have to enforce them.
Yep. And ideally, if you have to confront someone who's been being kind of a jerk, who isn't aware of how their behavior is affecting everyone else at the table, ideally you can confront them with this, and they'll be willing to change because they want to be at your game, because they want to hang out with everybody, because they're enjoying themselves. And in that case, that's pretty great. I have had situations like that where I've had to talk to a player, or the GM has had to talk to a player like, listen, you really can't be acting like this. You're making people uncomfortable, and they make an effort to change. But if you don't do anything, it's just going to get worse and worse. And the players that you actually do want to keep around are going to suddenly start finding reasons to not come to your game, and your game's going to tank.
Yeah, if you don't do anything, it is certainly not going to get better.
Yeah. It's not just going to magically fix itself.
And if you're not the GM, and therefore not the authority, go ahead and call people out on their bad behavior.
Yep.
Like, if someone is being disruptive, it is okay for you to be like, yo, stop doing whatever you're doing. Like, you don't need to go fight 100 zombies, guys. And you don't have to be rude or mean, but don't back down.
Yeah.
And don't say it's okay, because it's not okay. Like, if somebody apologizes, you don't have to say it's okay, because it's not okay.
Yeah, you just say, oh, thank you for apologizing. Or I accept your apology.
Accepted. Yeah.
And if you don't want to call them out right then and there, because I completely understand that is like a horror scenario for some of us, talk to the GM in an aside, like text them or take them aside later. Say, so-and-so is really, their behavior was kind of disrupting to the game. I don't know if you can talk to them for us. Because again, as a GM, if someone came to me with that concern, I would be like, yeah, absolutely. I'll see if I can talk to so-and-so and see if we can work this out.
Yeah,
it's one of the skills of being a GM. You got to be able to work with these weirdos.
It's people management. It's good leadership.
Yep.
It's all people skills.
Yeah. Even if it's just like, I think the most harmless on here is like sloth. You wouldn't even have to go to someone and be like, listen, would you just read the fucking rules? Like, don't bring don't bring your Play-Doh. Please turn off your phone and please learn the rules. Like, that's the least harmful. That's just like, why are you even here?
Yeah, and like, what happens, at least with it, in my case, with a slothful player, is that I just then leave them out.
Yeah, just treat it like they're not there. Just skip them.
You gonna do something? No? Alright, well, too bad. Which is maybe not the healthiest way to deal with that, but...
Well, it sounds like they don't want to be there anyway, so...
Yeah. It's been a long time since I've had someone who, like, actively didn't want to be there.
Yeah, it's been a while for me, too, actually.
Yeah, I gotta say that
now that we're adults...
Yeah. Now that I'm grown,
mm-hmm.
I don't have these problems anymore, really. When
I first started a pickup game, when I first moved here to the Kansas City area, I was looking around for groups to join. Partly just out of my own need to have games, and also for my husband, who is also quite shy, and was like, make some friends for us. I was like, okay, I got this. So I found like a posting at the local game store that had a woman's name on it, that had a feminine name on it. And I was like, okay, this is perfect. she will run a game. I'm more than comfortable with that. And that's how I ended up meeting like a bunch of the people that I hang out with now. But there were like one or two people that we sort of shed because they were sort of an issue. And thankfully that went easily, but we did have to like actually call them out on some of the behavior. Like one of them was just straight up inviting new people to games without telling anybody. So they would show up with like extra friends. We're like, who the fuck are they? And this guy's like, oh, these are my buddies. I told them they could play. He's like, you're not the GM. What are you doing?
Excuse me? Who said? Who said? Excuse me, sir? What the fuck?
Get out of here.
Get out of here. You've never had anybody turn up with strangers and be like, they're in the game now.
With strangers? Yeah. Especially when I went out of my way to be like, I'm going to find a female GM. I don't want to have to deal with any like weird, I don't want to deal with grognards. I don't want to deal with
any
high school boys. Like, and then one of the people that also found the listing happened to be a grognard. And he brought his grognard friends. And the rest of us were like,
so many
we're gonna just switch the schedule.
Ugh. You know, I said so many beards like with such disdain, but married a beard.
Yeah, he's a walking beard.
He's just a walking beard. Yeah, it's great. I'm kind of jealous.
He's like that Shel Silverstein cartoon.
Yes.
He just wraps his hair around his bear.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, he's working on it.
He's working on getting it that long.
Yep.
A full body beard. A Sasquatch.
He's losing his head hair, so like it's just all growing out of his chin now.
Gotta compensate. Pretty soon it'll be long enough he can just wrap it back around his head again.
Yeah, I play Malifaux. I play minis games with a guy who's real short. He's sort of like a tiny Henry, so he's just like tiny and then just like beard and long hair. I think if he shaved and got a haircut, I would be like, who is this child we let in here? Thanks for that campaign win, Todd.
Todd.
Yeah, his name's Todd.
I'm in the fledgling beginning of a Blades in the Dark game with two ladies I know on the internet. So this is all on like Roll20 and voice chat. Roll20 has some badass Blades in the Dark sheets, by the way, if you are jonesing for doing an online game. But I've never run it. They've never played it. So it's a learning experience for all of us. And they both have picked options that I never expected. We're doing a cult. Okay. Both of them wanted to play the Whisper. And I was like, well, all right, fine, yeah. Because, you know, it's your first game. Yeah, you can both be Whispers. Why not? And they're both named Tim.
Okay.
And this is the cult of Timoteo.
Okay.
They worship something called the indescribable monstrosity, parentheses, Tim.
Okay.
So I don't know that they're taking this extremely seriously.
It doesn't sound like it, no.
It's gonna be like Blades of the Dark by way of Monty Python at this point.
I guess that's fine.
I think it'll be great.
I mean, as long as you're all on board with that.
Yeah, like they picked some really interesting like they're based out of Brightstone, out of the nobility district. So I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Like I was thinking it would be like played straight, like gutter rats, thieves and knives and shit, but they're like playing creepy cultists in like this really well connected area. So I guess they're going to be like playing like a fad cult.
Okay.
Like, oh, this is the fashionable thing now. Ooh,
like spiritualists.
Yes, exactly. But like, you know, cult, like sinister. So they're going to try to convert all the nobility who are like already pretty finicky. So they have to keep this constant eye on like, are they bored with us? Okay, we need to drop more money on parties. Like we need to throw a wild dinner party and put some crazy drugs in the drinks.
I was going to tell you about the Malifaux campaign we were in, but it's way less interesting than our Blades in the Dark game. So
so far, that was just the creation session. I don't know if I'll be able to live up to how did my mic get all I don't know if I'll be able to live up to all these crazy Tim aspirations that they've created.
Yeah, we're playing this Friday, our monthly Blades in the Dark game. We've released at least one really powerful ghost by accident, and so then we had to steal another really powerful artifact so that we could beat up the ghost we let out.
That's failing forward.
Yeah, and it sure is. And, like, we've pissed off more people than we're friends with.
That's good. That's some excellent bladesing.
Yeah, it's been pretty fantastic. The rest of the party is not so great at doing face-to-face violence. So I get a lot of enjoyment out of my character making judgy faces at the rest of the party when they fuck up fighting.
Can't you?
Which caused at least one player to get really defensive out of character.
Oh. That's not fair.
There was this scene where we'd broken into this like enemy stronghold to get information and steal some stuff that they had so that we could go track down the powerful artifact we need to fight the ghost. Me and my girlfriend in character are like staging a fight out front so that they'll be drawn out, which didn't work, but whatever. We're doing this thing, and like the rest of the party is trying to sneak in, and like the four of them lose a fight to one guy.
Oh, come on.
Like, he fucked up one of them real bad because they rolled like a 4 or something, and my character finally gets in, beats up the two guys downstairs, comes up the ladder to find them, like, bleeding. One of them's hiding. The hound has his gun out, like, well, he's too close, so I don't know what to do. And, like, she sneaks up behind the dude who's beating the crap out of them, just, like, grabs him, snaps his neck instantly, and looks at them like, what the fuck?
God, put some points in skirmish, God.
I give all of you a judgmental look, and then I leave the room. And they were like, they just bust up laughing, except the one player who got kind of defensive about it. Anyway, so this has been our interlude about Blades in the Dark, even though we've kind of wrapped up.
This has been our Blades in the Dark episode. Well, we were talking about, dirty deeds.
Hey, we're going to do favorite episodes coming up.
Oh,
favorite systems, rather, coming up.
That'll be fun. This episode, maybe a little bit of a downer.
So you can find us at bonusexpcast.wordpress.com. If you want to shout at us at Twitter, so hopefully we should be tweeting by then, you can find us at bonusexpcast at Twitter. And we welcome your polite and engaged feedback at bonusexpcast@gmail.com.
Social media is a hell of a thing.
It is a hell of a thing. If you want to follow me directly, I am at ZenithSun.
And I am at Ray_Cole. That's RAI.
And as always, change it if you want to.
Change it if you want to. Just fucking change it if you want to.
Just fucking change it if you want to.
Just fucking change it if you want to. Should we come up with something better?
We haven't yet.
Yeah, I think that's it. I think that's going to be it.
I think it might be it.
Man.
Send us an email with what you think our closing or sign-off should be.
Please write this for us. Thanks for listening. Take +1 forward to GMing this week. We are written and produced by Monica and Ray. Our theme song is Reuse Noise with the Light by CDK and is used under the Attribution Non-Commercial Creative Commons license. Our logo and art are by Nino Studios, Neno, and you can find them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. You can earn more bonus experience on WordPress, iTunes, or wherever you get podcasts. Thanks again, and we'll see you in the next episode.